Welcome back, nerd friends, to episode 58 of the Nerd Chills podcast. If this podcast was a person, it'd be thinking about how it's going to be dead soon.
Or retiring.
New
lease on life.
Death. It's all the same thing.
I was like, wait, I'm so confused.
Unless you're one of our listeners who's 58 or beyond that, thank you so much for listening, you old person. We really appreciate it. Mom?
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm pretty sure she doesn't listen.
She says she doesn't.
She doesn't listen. This is Adam Diaz, and with me, as usual, is CJ. How you doing, CJ?
I am doing great. It's been a fun week. I'm kind of thinking to myself in my head, like, I want to get this podcast over so I can just play more Monster Hunter.
I think we're all thinking that. Maybe not Charlie to that extent, but we're going to get her there. Speaking of Charlie, the third chair, welcome back.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. This episode, we're going to go over a big article regarding Google possibly getting into the gaming industry and what we would like to see from a Google console, or what we just like to see from a console in general. But we're going to start out first and foremost with what we've been playing like normal. And we'll start with CJ. CJ, I think I know what you've been playing, but why don't you go ahead and tell all the fine folks at home?
Yeah, well, earlier in the week I was playing League of Legends, and then towards the end of the week I just got on this rush of playing only Monster Hunter. So that's what I've been doing. It's super fun to just kind of run around and be able to hunt shit and kill it, or get your ass kicked, because that happens too.
It does.
And then it's even better when your friends join in. So I was playing with Adam and Robin.
Yeah, we have played a lot.
Yeah, I think we're over like 30 hours at this point.
Yeah, me and Robin are both over 30 hours. I don't know what you're at, CJ, but I'd imagine around there. So between the three of us, 90 hours in a week is pretty solid. And on top of that, like, I still don't feel like I'm very far in the storyline, so it's...
We're still at the beginning, literally at the beginning.
Literally at the beginning? Wow. Okay, so awesome. That's what CJ's been playing. I know me and Robin have been playing it too, so we'll give our takes on that.
Awesome.
Charlie, we've been texting you like every night, like, hey, you started Monster Hunter yet? So what have you been playing this week?
Well, I played a lot of Horizon. I'm getting all my collectibles. And there's like this, I don't know, they're like these like vantage point things that I have to collect. There's also a ton of like just data points where you can find like old logs of dead people, and I'm at this point not going to do all that. But
it's funny.
The vantage points are really cool because you like can look out and it shows you like, it's almost like augmented reality. It shows you like an overlay of what it used to look like and what it looks like now.
That's super cool.
And it tells you like about this one guy's story. I don't know who he is, but it's funny because every time he's like, it's like 11 different instances, and he's like, Apaka shitstorm day 2. Like, that's what he calls it. But, yes, I've been collecting stuff before I finish the game, because I don't know what it'll be like post-game.
Right, whether or not you can go back and do all that fun jazz.
Yeah, so I'm just doing everything now. I'm getting really hardcore. I'm up to, like, level 45.
What's the max?
I think 50.
Oh, wow.
I almost have the entire skill tree built out.
Wow.
Dang.
At this point, I'm just like, what is it? I don't care. I'll take it. Like,
that's funny.
It's fine. And then I did start Monster Hunter. And I have a bunch of questions, so I'll wait until you guys are, like, discussing Monster Hunter.
Okay.
And then, what else did I play? I got a little bit back into Animal Crossing, but I just, like, looked at it.
I
and
saw
I was
new
like,
characters.
Yeah?
New animals.
Maybe I'll get back into it. I don't know. My sister's getting back into it.
One of them looked like a clown. It was really scary.
I mean, they're going to have to, like that one. You remember that frog that looks like he's, like, operating on people?
Yeah.
That one's really creepy. He's wearing, like, tall black rubber gloves and, like, a white jacket and a face mask.
I'm not so much operating as much as is, like, cutting up their bodies and disposing of them.
Something like that.
That sounds like that
creepy.
sort of outfit.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of.
Right on. Robin, have you played anything else besides Monster Hunter this past week?
No.
Okay, so talk to us about Monster Hunter. You started Monster Hunter last Friday. We started it right before the podcast. I'm 100% positive of that.
Oh, it was Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on it so far? You're 30 hours in.
It's very fun. I just got butterfly armor, and my character is so pretty.
What I think's funny about it is that, like, CG and I are running around trying to hunt monsters or capture them, or all three of us in the world, and the monsters in the world will adjust their health and their hit points which are the same thing, and their damage, I think, as well, up. Like, the difficulty adjusts for how many people you have with you. So me and CJ are fighting, like, Category 3 monsters, while Robin's off chasing butterflies with her fucking net. And we're like, so were you gonna help us, or what? And we killed a fucking, like, a dragon at one point. She's like, I wish I was there with you guys. And we're like, well, you could be, but you're on the other side of the map.
I have so many pets, though.
Yeah,
I have like 3 pages worth of animals.
The way you've built out your like living quarters, like I've barely spent any time in my living quarters, but her living quarters looks like someone lives there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So describe like how you can like make out your living quarters.
You catch animals, and then you put your pets all over the place, and then it just looks like there's animals fucking everywhere.
It's like,
and then you have your aquarium, and you put fishies in your aquarium.
So there's animals having sex everywhere. Animals.
That's
everywhere.
the first thing I thought. I was like, I wish you would have paused in between that. But it was so fluent.
So you just walk into Robin's room, and there's just animal orgies everywhere.
Yep.
But basically anything you can't kill with a sword.
You can kill them.
That's wildlife. Really?
No,
you
can totally go out in there and fight. I've murdered birds before.
Maybe that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna collect them all and then just
then start
rampage.
killing them.
No, I've accidentally killed them before, and you just, it's so sad because you can't get anything from them. They're
Can
just
you
like,
put
blur.
the corpse in your room where it's just like a dead
They're
bird
just
in
like
your
blur.
room?
No, yeah, they're just like, blur.
But when she catches insects, she opens up different armor trees that you can build out.
Yeah.
Like she has like a butterfly skirt and like a ladybug armor for her palico, which
That's
is
really cool.
a friendly cat.
Right.
And I'm like, I have like armor from a Tyrannosaurus Rex that I killed and a helmet from a dragon that I also killed. And then I started catching more bugs because of it. And now I have like this great beetle armor, which is like way fucking better than the other armor I had. I don't know where the hell I got it from, but I started building it out. I'm like, this looks ridiculous and is also super strong. So it's like, depending on like how you play the game, your experience can be totally different. So
So that's when you like capture things instead of.
You, depending on what monster you get sent out to do, you can kill or capture, and you get different stuff based off of it. But even then, like, what she's finding is, like, just the ambient wildlife that you think is, like, background noise
Yeah.
or scenery. She, like, captures it with her net. And then she can get stuff outside of that.
Yeah, and
because
like
of it.
different animals and different
Yeah.
bugs
Like
come out at
Animal
different
Crossing.
times during the day. Yeah.
Like
So-
on one of the levels, you run into a cave, and I've run into the cave like 100 times, and there's bats, and I always just kind of thought like, okay, you're running into a cave, there's bats, like that's how that works. And then she's like, I put on the ghillie suit, and I caught the bats. I was like, mind blown.
Yeah. It's like, are you fucking serious? She just runs around, tries to catch everything. So, it's pretty cool.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts you have
Pokemon.
on Monster Hunter, Robin?
No, it's really good. It's just fun and addicting, and I need to do my statics homework, but I'm not because Monster Hunter.
Well, Monster Hunter is live. So, it's a shame there's not a Monster Hunter class right now at UNLV, because I totally sign up for
There's
that
a
shit.
Bioshock class. There's a Bioshock literature class.
That's kind of
What?
cool, but
That's crazy.
Yeah.
a little weird they pick Bioshock.
It's because it's like a literature from the 17th century or something. So you play Bioshock Infinite because it's like historical or whatever.
It's 100% historically accurate.
Historically accurate. No, yeah, it's something like that. It's really cool.
Right on. So yeah, I didn't know if I was going to get as into Monster Hunter as I kind of have. When it comes to my experience with Monster Hunter, what I've noticed is it's definitely more fun if you're playing with people. There's certain things that you kind of want to do alone, and you're forced to do story missions alone. So some of the monster encounters that you have are difficult, and like CJ said, you will get your ass kicked. So occasionally you'll be like, "Oh wow, this thing is destroying me," and sometimes like you have to
You
change.
have SOS flares though.
Yeah, but sometimes you just need to change your tactics or change your armor, because like I had really good armor for everything, and then we went after the T-Rex, which is called like the Anjanath. I really wish they had better names for these things.
What's wrong
But-
with that name?
I wish they would have just called it a Tyrannosaurus Rex with wings. But we went after that thing, and
You're
my
lame.
armor was weak to fire, so it was kicking my ass. So I changed my armor, and it like kind of forces you to go outside your comfort zone, because you get like a set of gear that you're really comfortable with, and then it's like, no, keep moving forward, keep trying out
keep
different shit.
changing.
And it's been really fun because of that. I will say there are instances where I play single player mode where I'm like, the game is not as strong in single player mode, even though you have a Palico that's like a little helper AI unit that'll also fight and heal you. And I say that because there's so many instances in certain areas of the game where you get stunned and you just stand there. And like with a game like Monster Hunter, the combat works where it's like, it's not exactly combo based, but if you want to do like really big damage, you can do your combos or your special. But like I use heavier weapons because I tank a lot, and because of that, if I start a combo that's like 3 swings of a sword, and I realize like one swing in, like, oh, he's charging up his attack, mine's not going to hit in time, I'm about to get killed or lose most of my health, there's absolutely no way to stop it from happening. So you have to just watch the animation go all the way through. And then on top of that, there's so many monsters that have ways to stun you. And that's like usually like realistically probably like 4 to 6 seconds of being completely immobilized. And their next attack will come sooner than that. So you're basically fucked in a lot of situations. And the worst thing about it to me is that potions and antidotes, whenever you get poisoned or you're low on health, take so fucking long to drink. It's like a 5-second animation of drinking it. Yeah. And while you're drinking it, the bar slowly loads. So if you dive or if you start running while it's happening, it stops right there for wherever it was. So it's really frustrating.
It stops loading if you
so
move.
it's
the
pretty much
effect of
like
the
you've
potion.
wasted your potion.
So you have to like stand there and
well, you
wait.
can walk, but you can't run.
But it doesn't matter because like they'll still hit you. Like you're not going to be able to dodge if you're walking. You basically have to disengage completely, hide, heal, and then on top of that, even if you're doing really well on the fight, the more damage you deal, your weapon gets dull. That's always been a Monster Hunter staple. Is like your weapon will show up in the top left corner of the screen, and it'll be like the icon that's green.
If you have a sword.
And then it'll drain. Yeah, if you have a sword. It'll drain and eventually go to yellow, then eventually go to red.
How do you dull bagpipes?
Right? And, but the worse it gets, the worse damage you start doing. And sometimes you won't even be dealing any damage. And it's the same thing.
How do you
exit combat.
Do you switch?
You leave combat, you use a whetstone to sharpen your fucking weapon, but you are completely immobilized for that, for at least 5 seconds. So there's so many times in the game where I'm like, it disrupts the combat I'm really enjoying, and I wish there was a way I could cancel a combo. I wish it was faster to do, and I know it's like, well, that's just how Monster Hunter is. It's like a different style of combat. It's like, yeah,
you're supposed to be punished for not comboing at the right time.
Yeah, I understand that part of it.
When you were supposed to French fry or something.
And sometimes I'm not having a good time because of that. And it gets under my skin sometimes when I'm like, okay, well, like, I can't cancel this combo, and I'm totally fucked now. But it's really annoying where I'm doing really well. It's like, okay, I gotta stop and use this whetstone, and I gotta leave combat stance. And if I accidentally open up combat stance again because I tap Y or B, I have to hit right shoulder button again and hope it responds. And then at the same time, the monster's just trying to fucking kill you the whole time. So there's certain times during single player mode, I don't notice that as much in multiplayer because he has other fucking targets. So he'll go after Robin or he'll go after CJ, and I'm like, no big deal. Like, I can heal.
Yeah, you can stand there for 5 seconds and he might not get murdered.
Yeah, and you work together and it's okay. And you kind of change your combat because of that, so things will take a lot longer if you don't want to get killed. And if you want to heal and use your whetstone to make sure that your weapon is sharp, all that stuff, if you want to do it properly, I've decided, like, okay, I'm going to play the game how the game wants me to play it, and then the fucking monster will leave the area. You can be exploring and fighting something, and it'll tell you, like, this monster's going to leave the area soon. And then it's a race against time, and you'll be in the middle of fighting it, and it'll just fucking vanish. It's like, the monster has left the area. It's like, so I literally... And you don't have experience. And if they didn't die and you didn't capture it, you don't get any items off of it, which is what the game is based around. So we had a night 2 or 3 nights ago where I fought 3 separate creatures for like 20 minutes apiece because I couldn't kill them because they were much stronger than I was, but I was playing combat correctly, and they fucking left.
Wow.
And I was like, so this is definitely not a single-player open-world game. If it's story-based, that doesn't happen. But if it's like exploration, like the expedition part of the game,
just wander away.
there's the like distinct opportunity that you could have just wasted your fucking time.
That's crazy.
So I've had multiple moments where I'm like, fuck this stupid game. That said, I've had like 100 times more moments where I'm like, this game is fucking awesome. But yeah, I had to like put that out there for anyone who's considering getting it or has played Monster Hunters before. Or like, is it still the same thing? Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, it is. It's probably sold 6 million copies to this point because I got a 6 million bonus. It doesn't say anything other than 6 million bonus when you log in, where you get a bunch of free items.
That's
and
cool.
like 3 days before that, it was the 5 million bonus.
Oh, okay.
So it's clearly still doing very well. And most of our friends lists are just filled up with people who are playing it, which is really cool to see. Because we're on Xbox, and I know it's doing really well on PlayStation as well.
Yeah.
So that's about it. I haven't played anything else. Charlie, what are your questions?
Okay, so first of all, why... So when I started up the game, it asks you, for the Xbox One X users, what you want to choose.
To prioritize?
Yes. Mm-hmm. What'd you guys choose?
So I chose to prioritize frame rate at all times because I want it to run 60 frames per second or 30 or whatever it is.
CJ, what'd you choose?
At first, I chose graphics, just because I wanted to see what the kind of push the Xbox and just see what it was capable of. But I go back and forth. Like if I'm playing with multiple people and there's a lot of stuff going on, I'll do frame rate just to make sure I'm not going to be dropping frames in the middle of a fight. And then if I ever put it on my actual 4K monitor, then I put it on resolution just to kind of see the higher textures.
I picked frame rate also because I thought that made the most sense.
Right.
Like I'd rather have a function. But I just
yeah.
don't get why that was a thing. I was just like,
It's because people were demanding it. They're like, if you're going to make something that's as powerful as a PC, I better be able to set the frame rate and the resolution and all these other benchmarks.
but like you have to choose what's important
That's
to
how
you.
douchey people talk. What's that?
But, like, why do you have to choose?
I think you don't want it to choose for you. Like, you want the settings.
Yeah, I think the issue is that Monster Hunter is such a big game. Because, like, on Assassin's Creed, it doesn't have me choose. It just does all that for me.
Right.
Most
Nothing
4K
else.
games don't do it. It's just
Yeah.
like certain games, the fan base demands it. And it's like, for games that are first-person shooters that are super popular, it's like, will I be able to adjust every single fucking setting? Can I completely remap my controller? Can I set my sensitivity levels for all my buttons and all my thumbsticks to, like, the 1,000th of a degree?
It's just crazy to me that they're advertising, like, 4K, 30 frames per second, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, oh, wait, you can choose.
You still, like, I haven't noticed any issues with the 4K resolution or anything like that, so I'd be interested in seeing what it looks like if I were to switch. Like, if I was just to take resolution to see what a frame rate drop would look like. Because right now it's, like, running perfectly fine. And, like, sitting side by side with Robin, who's running on a Xbox One S on a non-4K TV, like, I can definitely tell the difference.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel almost guilty when I'm playing it, because I'm like, it looks really, really fucking good, but it still looks really good on her TV and her Xbox.
It loads faster on the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is to be expected. I mean, that's how it is in Overwatch as well. Overwatch looks amazing in the 4K update too. So it's just an
Must
option
be
I think
nice.
they give you. Shut up. I've offered to get you a 4K TV or an Xbox One X. You're like, I'm good. Let's save that money for a vacation. So, just saying.
My next question is, so I don't know. The first thing I noticed was, like, the cats, like, they're, like, in the boat doing stuff for you. And I was like, we're, like, slavicos.
Wow.
Like, not calicos. But anyways, so is it just me, or do they have, like, they don't say every line?
They don't, no.
No, it's
That
not
was
fully
the
voice acted.
most confusing shit to me. I'm like, your lips are moving, but you're saying about a sixth of what's
Yeah, it's like
on
it's
the screen.
only cinematics that are voice acted, and then like in game, like
They
about to
say
go
like,
do stuff.
oh, or
Yeah,
that's...
Well,
yeah.
they'll say, like, part of it. Like,
It's
they'll
like
say,
the
like,
very
the last
beginning.
line or something.
yeah.
I was so confused. I was like, why are their
I've seen that
lips
happen in other
moving?
games before, but it's like mainly for Japanese style RPGs.
Yeah.
Because they like for your cutscenes, they're always voice acted, and everything else is like when you greet someone, they're like "hello," and then everything else is like running text.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, it's one of those." So
I was
Robin,
just so confused.
Robin plays it in Japanese,
Yeah, and it's the dialogue is like a lot longer, it seems like to me.
and it matches the lips a lot
I
better.
was going to say, why do the lips keep moving? Like, what's the point?
I feel like there's times where the Japanese dialogue would continue going, but the American translation ends, so their lips are still going. Because when I watch her play it and I hear her volume, I'm like, oh, that totally matches up. It's not like I'm watching a Jackie Chan movie over here. So, well, the old Jackie Chan movies.
And then the storyline, I was, like, so confused when I started it. It's like, you're on this boat, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I'm assuming they explained what happened to the fucking boat. It's like the ground raises up, and the boat... Like, sorry, spoiler alert.
This is the beginning, before
Oh,
the
the
game
beginning,
even
yeah.
starts.
Like, the ground raises up, and then you guys, the two of you and that other chick, are the only people that get thrown, like, all the way the fuck across the
Yeah.
map. Everyone else is just right there, perfectly fine.
That's why you're playing that character and not someone on the boat, like, huh, that's fucked up for those two people.
And then you get back to the boat, and they're like, we were almost going to look for you.
Right?
I'm like, what the fuck
You're the
is
last
that?
people here. It's like, yeah, we had a bit of a rough go of it, asshole. Now, what I think is funny about the storyline is, like, one of the things in the storyline is, like, we're trying to hunt an elder dragon. And elder dragons are fucking huge. Like the size of an island. And for whatever fucking reason, they keep losing track of it. They're like, oh, we lost his trail. I'm like, try following the giant city-sized hole it's making in the ground as it scrapes across the fucking world. Like, how did you lose track of an island-sized dragon. I don't understand that shit at all. How they ever were like, oh, where'd it go? It's the biggest thing I've ever seen. It's the biggest monster I've ever seen in the fucking game.
Bigger than Lost Planet?
I'd never played Lost Planet, so those things weren't that big though. They were not Elder Dragon size. So, just saying.
Alright.
I was also frustrated with the fact that I was made to choose voices, which were just grunting noises.
I had fun.
I was listening to all of them. Why don't you give me an actual sample, not
See, I don't mind that if it's the sound they're gonna make during combat, and it's attack noise 1, and then you can also pick a voice for dialogue. But it was just these are the grunts you're gonna hear, and
well,
that's
and then
it.
you just spam A, and it goes through all the different types of different ways it'll grunt, and it's just so funny.
Yeah, Robin, while she was picking it, made it sound like it was having sex with itself. It's I'm sitting there. I'm
boy.
I picked number 3. I'm moving on from this now.
I wanted my voice to match my character's face.
Does it? Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Have you heard your character's voice since you started the game?
Yeah, when she's grunting.
I never hear it. I never notice it whatsoever.
The climate.
Yeah, I'm too busy
freaks me
hearing the
out.
noise of the fucking dragon.
Exactly. The monsters that
flying
are
in my
roaring trying to
face.
murder you. What creeps you out?
The climbing, they look like spiders because they're
Oh yeah, they're
When
so
yeah,
fast.
when you're holding right bumper too, and you're going a million times faster, then it's just this creepy speed
yeah,
climbing.
it looks fucked up.
So I know this part is kind of splitting hairs, but I'm going to do it anyways because I think it's funny. So at one point you fight what I can only describe as a chicken raptor. It's like a raptor-sized thing, like from a movie Jurassic Park, if it was a chicken, where it's covered in fur, or feathers, I should say. It also has claws like a raptor, and at one point while you're fighting it, it picks up a boulder. And if you try and hit it, it completely blocks any damage you do. And I'm like, I feel like I could still hit it, and the way to get it to drop it is to shoot it with your slingshot. So I can't hit it with a 10-foot glowing electric sword to get it to drop it, but a rock I found on the fucking ground, shot from a slingshot, and it literally fumbles it oh, derp, and drops it. And I'm like, okay,
Oh my god.
they're just, it's game mechanics. They're going for something other than straight button mashing. That's good. But if you're going to include something like that in the game, if I climb to the top of the tallest tree in the ancient forest and jump off what is essentially a fucking skyscraper, I get 0 fall damage. Just land on my feet.
Borderlands.
I don't even lose any stamina. I'm just
yeah,
let's keep going, y'all.
The lack of fall
Just-
damage is insane.
It's you can fall a fucking mile, and you're just I just fell from space. I was fighting some moon goblins. What are we doing now? And you don't take any fucking damage at all.
That's
It's
good to know.
slightly jarring, because I still get butterflies in my stomach if I fall from too high.
I have to
Yeah.
close my eyes.
And I'm just oh fuck, it's gonna hurt. And then I land, I'm there's no consequences whatsoever for jumping wherever the fuck you want in this game. Which is good, because you get knocked off cliffs a lot by tail whips.
Yeah.
And I'd probably hate the full damage a whole lot more if it existed when I got knocked off something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of it's one of those things where you notice it a lot where you're I can't believe I didn't get hurt from that.
That's always when I play Borderlands, when I go heavily play Borderlands for a few days or weeks or whatever, and then I go play other things, I'm constantly just jumping off of everything because
Taking all this
you have to
fucking fall
jump
damage.
really far to get hurt or killed, and you're just gonna die. There's no getting hurt from falls; it's just dying.
I feel if I were to go back and play Witcher or Zelda or anything where you take fall damage, I would immediately die. The first jump I came to, I would misjudge it it doesn't matter. And then I'd be fucking dead. Instantly as soon as I hit the ground, oh yeah, that sucks.
I was talking to this completely random, but it was funny that you brought up that stuff because I was when I was playing Horizon, I'm trying to get to all these high up places, and I told someone I was I'm the expert of climbing shit that's not meant to be climbed at this point. I just mash A and struggle up the hill.
You seizure up the hill with your
pretty
horse.
much. Yeah, and
Well,
then I'm
that's Skyrim.
it turns out that wasn't the path, and I wasn't supposed to go that way.
That makes a good beta tester because you can fall through cracks, and then you're hey, I fell through a crack right here, and they're thank you. Beta test more of our products. So legit, I beta tested the vanilla WoW, and I just kept riding my horse at mountains trying to get up them, and I just fall through. There's this one time I clipped through, and I wound up in a plateau of game design world, unfinished level, just a flat space.
Wow.
And I was this is fucking awesome, because I wasn't falling, and my character and my horse made it through.
Wow.
So I just took a screenshot and I sent it with, and I was man, I wish there wasn't a non-disclosure agreement, because this is fucking hilarious. Like the empty World of Warcraft. And I usually get into Blizzard betas now, and I use that account. So
Oh, cool.
fun stuff. But yeah, I think we can say that we all, so far, Charlie still, verdict
played
is
like
out.
an hour.
Right. We all really like Monster Hunter. I would honestly give it a 9 out of 10. Like, to get to the 10 out of 10, those things that I mentioned would have
Robin
to be
looks
fixed.
skeptical.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't give it a 9 out of 10. It's not that good.
What would you give it?
Wow.
I mean, it's really good. It's just like
Really good? How would you
It's-
rate really good?
there's some things like the investigations where I'm just like, why are there 1,000,001 investigations? Just give me like a couple, and don't give me 7 chances to do this one investigation. Like, make it like 3, so it'll get erased from my fucking menu when I'm done.
I think the point of the investigations is to repeat them so you can, like, continue doing them at endgame level to get armor spheres so that you can make your armor as strong as it can possibly be.
Yes.
So, right on.
GAF.
CJ,
8 out of
anything
10.
anything to finish off with for Monster Hunter? Do you think we covered it well enough?
I think we covered it well. I would probably put it at a 8 out of 10 myself.
Cool.
It is really fun to play. It's even better when you're playing with friends. And then the only part that gets me is I can see where it might start to get repetitive.
Yeah, I feel like endgame isn't going to be as exciting as I'm hoping it will be. Mainly just because, like, I feel like it'll be, okay, you finish the game, now go repeat all those other things with better and better armor.
Yeah.
Or better and
Yeah.
better weapons. So, but we'll see. I have faith in Capcom that they'll add in, like, just giant bosses for
They've
you to
talked
fight.
a lot about like free DLCs, so they could do like Monster of the Week type of stuff, like Assassin's Creed. Like
Right.
they're big dudes who you kill.
That's what I'm really hoping for.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with... Because they add like daily challenges all the time, so I'm excited to see
Yeah.
what they do with DLC.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Robin gives it a it's good-ish. CJ goes
She's
with 8 out of
It's great.
I'm going
It's
with
just
9 out
not
of
the
10.
best.
Okay, great, not the best. So you guys quantify that. Someone plug it into an algorithm and we'll figure it out. Right on. So that is what we've been playing. Very long section, but that's okay because we only have 1,000,000 pieces of news to get to this
Yeah.
week. So we'll do...
This has been the Monster
Hey,
Hunter episode. We'll
we-
see you in the next episode.
Right. Right on. So we'll go backwards order like we normally do for what we've been watching. Hopefully this one doesn't take that long. True Blood. Next. Robin.
I've been watching the Sanrio Boys anime that came out. It's so stinking cute. Oh my goodness. Just seeing like super hot anime dudes into like the cutest Sanrio characters. And then the world's greatest first love anime. It's really good.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I've just been watching anime and True Blood.
Right on. Charlie, what have you been watching this past week?
I haven't really been watching anything. I've been listening to You Must Remember This still,
What
which
is-
is a podcast about 1900s Hollywood. And because of that, my sister has been like watching a bunch of old movies. So we finished Cleopatra, which is like 6 hours. It's
What the
There's an
fuck?
intermission.
Isn't there like a huge legend behind that movie getting made and like how it almost destroyed someone's career or something?
Oh,
like
it cost
that?
like $55 million to make back then.
Isn't the like adjusted budget like for inflation like $2 billion?
I haven't looked at the adjusted, but it's nuts. But it was really, really
Damn.
good. I really liked it.
We're looking at CJ's Snapchat right now that just posted, and it's a picture of him recording at this very moment with his microphone, and then a cat in front of it, and then another cat in front of it, just
Staring into the monitor. Oh my god.
staring at the lines as they
Just
record.
watching the bar go across, it cracks me up.
That's so funny. Thank you, Robin, for being on Snapchat in the middle, and also CJ for posting to Snapchat. Fun stuff. I heard about a podcast that kind of reminded me of that. I can't remember the name of it. Someone at work told me about it, but it was about like old school Hollywood, but it wasn't about movies exactly. I think it was actually true crime. So
Oh, that'd be
I'll
cool.
have to get the name of it. I heard about a different one that was like half true crime, half ghost stories called This Is Why We Drink.
Huh.
And I was like, I'll have to check that out. Not as good as scary-ish, but that's okay. So
Yeah, so I've literally been listening to that, and then if I'm not listening to that, I have been still finishing. The last collection of Forensic Files is like 60 episodes. So I keep thinking like, I've got to be near the end, and then I count them, and I'm like, oh no, there's still 30 of them.
that's so funny.
It's like, I'm just constantly running towards the goal and not getting any closer.
Does Forensic Files send you a medal once you've completed watching all of them?
I don't think they do.
I think they should.
They should.
They really should.
Yeah, and then I would be like, who was murdered with this. Unless, I don't know.
You're basically a detective once you're finished. Bless you, Robin.
Sorry. And then I have been playing Horizon. I've been playing that like every night,
Right on.
which is weird for me. I don't normally do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think this is the first game that we've been playing for a long time too. That we're like super invested into it. So
Yeah.
it's hitting us all at the same time. It's a good time to play
Not
games.
since Overwatch.
Not since Overwatch. CJ, what have you been watching this week, bro?
Pretty much just the Overwatch League. It's the final week of Stage 1. They're doing the playoffs tomorrow, I think it is. So that's been really fun to watch and kind of see it grow. And I'm super excited for Stage 2 to start because that's when the Mercy nerfs kick in and she's not
Oh, wow.
stupid anymore.
That's hilarious.
That'd be a good band name.
Mercy Nerfs.
I had the first person that I ever met today who was gonna pick up Overwatch because they had no idea. Like, they were relatively familiar with games, but they were not really that avid, and they somehow stumbled upon the league and started watching it and got so into it that they decided to start playing the game. And I was like, wow, like, this is the
Right.
first
That's
person
really
I met.
cool.
That worked.
That's pretty cool.
Good job, Blizzard. So yeah, Robin was going to stay and hang out with us for the Monster Hunter portion of the show. She will not be joining us for the rest of it, but we're going to power through with the three of us. So, CJ, what do we have in the way of Microsoft news?
Just some news about the recent Sea of Thieves closed beta. It had a pretty decent number, actually. 332,052 players downloaded and jumped in, which is pretty significant compared to most closed betas, just because they can be hard to get into. But some other fun stats: there were more than 2 million hours recorded on the sea. There were an average of 104,240 viewers. I don't know what that means. I think maybe it's like they were viewing through the scope. I don't know. 25,563 content creators. And total watched on Twitch. It reached number 1 for live viewers on Twitch and Mixer during the closed beta release. And then it had 14,482,120 hours watched.
Damn.
That's a pretty successful closed beta for a game that didn't seem to have the biggest following when they would release stuff on their Twitter, and then all of a sudden it just blew up when it got released.
Yeah, I totally. Excuse me. I totally agree. I was pretty surprised to see how many people actually wanted to watch other people play it, since there was so many people that were concerned about it being boring or it being repetitive. And then all of a sudden, it's like watching someone else play it was the most exciting thing to be done on Twitch or on Mixer. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if that bodes well for game sales, but I mean, it bodes well for it doing well on Twitch, which always helps stuff. So,
I was going to say, I still have doubts.
yeah, I think most people still have doubts as far as playing it, but I think it's more like Monster Hunter, where it's like it'll be really, really, really fun if you play with a group. It'll probably be questionable if you play it in single player mode. But I played the beta in single player mode, and I had a ton of fun. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Is that all we had for Microsoft?
That is all we have for the Microsoft news.
Wow, cool. So powering right ahead into Sony news. Charlie, what do you got for us?
It's gonna be mostly Nintendo news because the only article I had was just the PlayStation Network. PlayStation Network was down earlier this week.
Yet again.
I don't know how long it lasted because this just has an update of like, now it's working. So I don't think it was a very long time.
I think it was for like 4 hours during the day, but it's like the third time since like January 15th that it's gone down.
Yeah, it's gone down. It went down twice at the end of January. So hopefully they'll be able to improve their infrastructure and make things better. But yeah, they've had a few outages recently, and I don't really know why. Hopefully they'll be able to figure out what's causing it.
I wonder if the amount of concurrent players that they have on there, like, they did not have a network that was like suitable for the amount of people they have now back in the PlayStation 3 days. Mm-hmm. And now that they have like so many concurrent players on the network, they're like, okay, it's time to like invest again into the infrastructure.
Yeah.
I just hope they stick with the $60 a year model. That's become like the rule of thumb for like game subscriptions.
I don't think they can raise it. I don't think they can afford to raise it while Xbox. Which sucks because they do have more work to do, right? Because if they have more players, especially a significant amount of players more than
Yeah.
Microsoft, then it's like it seems kind of fair, but at the same time, I don't think they can or will.
Right.
Yeah, but you gotta think when Microsoft had the more players, they were more expensive than PlayStation.
Yeah, by $10.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
true.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens. I
I
know
feel like people won't see it that way.
Yeah, people will be pissed if it happens regardless.
Yeah, it's the same people who are like, "Why doesn't my Xbox game work in my PlayStation?
Right,
Why
which
can't
is-
they just
Yeah.
make one console that plays all the games?"
The Google console. I mean, they're
Oh,
totally
right.
going to pull it off.
Oh my god, that'd
That'd be
crazy.
hilarious. Right on. Yeah, so we had slow news week for Microsoft and Sony, and a ridiculously over-the-top news week.
I saw all
for
your. I
Nintendo.
was like, Jesus Christ.
I was like, it just keeps coming. So we'll just get started. Starting out with the Nintendo news, Celeste, which is a side-scrolling platformer.
I don't even know what that is.
It just came out. It looks really cool. It actually battles subtly with the themes of depression, and people really, really like it. It got a 10 on IGN. I heard like everyone that has a gaming podcast talking
All
about
these
it.
emotional games.
What's that?
All these emotional games.
They say it's not really heavy-handed. It's like it's a really, really fun platforming game, and if it stood on its own without a storyline like that, people would still enjoy it. But the theme of like battling through depression and things of that nature and isolation, just like take it over the top. But Celeste itself recently released. The guys who made Towerfall are the guys who made this game, and it's selling better on the Switch than on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. So even though the install base is lower because they only have around 15 million units in the wild, more people are picking up a lot of games on the Nintendo Switch when it's available. So it's a really good sign. Another really good sign moving forward is that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the second best-selling entry in the series as of February 4th.
Wow.
It had sold 6.7 million units globally, which is pretty awesome. And the Wii U version has sold 1.08 million units as well.
That's
so
crazy.
Grand total 7.78 million units
Those
have
poor
shipped.
people.
I think the only one that has more is to see those poor people. It's such a good game.
The Wii U people, I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those poor people. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. That one sold 9 million units in its lifetime. It's funny that it's such an acclaimed series, but it doesn't have like a 10 million seller
How many
in
was
its history. 9 million for Twilight Princess.
I mean, that's still pretty crazy if they've sold like 13 million consoles and 9 million of those people bought Zelda.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's not a 1-to-1 ratio, but it's better than a 2-to-1 ratio, or 1-to-2 ratio, I should say. So
I'll wait until it's like Nintendo Select title and buy it again.
right, we'll see what happens with it. I don't know if they're going to drop the price on it ever.
Oh no, it'll literally be like a decade.
Right, it's going to take some time. Moving right along, Polygon posted this article. I was like, why is this a thing? But it says Super Mario Odyssey producer settles the debate over Toad's head. Basically, back in the day on a Mario cartoon, Toad took off his head and it was just a hat, and he's just like a short dude.
That's
And
weird.
everyone was just like, oh, okay, so no one's really known. And then they talked to the producer of Super Mario Odyssey about that, because it's like a huge debate online right now for no reason. And he said, so as it turns out, it's actually Toad's head. So they've ruled that the Adventures of Super Mario
So he
Bros. 3,
removed his head?
they're saying it's not canon. They
my
basically did the
God.
Star Wars legacy
Wow.
thing to it, where it's
Seriously?
like, that's not legit. So if you're ever looking at Toad and you're wondering, is that a hat or is that his head? It's his head. Which
No,
means
take it off, rip it off of him,
And then find out.
because it's not confirmed.
if you bite into his head, I'm pretty sure you will trip balls. So that's a good way to try it out too.
I want to go look at that video now. Like, I would lose my mind if I saw Toad take his fucking hat off.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm glad we finally settled this debate. People are still asking questions about Mario's nipples and him not having a belly
What about
button.
Toadette? Is that also just a short man? Her braids are attached to.
I'm pretty sure that
The
Mario,
mushroom.
the Mario thing is a sequel to Last of Us. And that is what the infected people turn into.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's humans that grow really short, and then all of a sudden their heads turn into toadstools. Because at some point his head's going to explode and infect a bunch of other people.
Oh my God.
So it makes sense.
Like boomers.
Right, exactly. Same thing. Moving right along, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is going to be released very soon on the PC and on Nintendo Switch. I shouldn't say very soon, but we're not exactly sure when.
Soon is relative.
Right, soon is very relative. The leak came from like merchandising stores online, a magazine called Licensing Source Book Europe. They accidentally put in there that it's going to be on Nintendo Switch and PC. And they're just like, well, fuck, I guess that's out now. So if you're a fan of Crash Bandicoot and you have a Switch, guess what? You can start playing it there.
I forgot to mention last week that I forgot one of my articles was about them announcing that they're going to make another Crash Bandicoot in 2019
Yep.
for PlayStation 2, so that's kind of cool.
I wonder if that's going to wind up on the Nintendo Switch as well.
For PlayStation also, they're not making it for PlayStation 2.
I was gonna say for PlayStation 2.
They're
Damn.
Yeah,
using
get off my balls,
PlayStation
CJ.
2.
I knew what you were thinking.
That's so funny.
Yep. I'm so far away yet you knew.
It's because you and I are tight like that.
Right?
Yeah,
Fun
we're
stuff.
so close.
Moving right along. Bandai Namco is officially making a Nintendo Switch exclusive first-person shooter.
Oh,
Yeah, and they're also apparently working on Ridge Racer 8. So that is reported by
Didn't know there was a
GameSpot.
market.
I didn't either. I never liked Ridge Racer.
I don't get racing games, truthfully. Like, I'm not that into racing games, so...
I don't know.
I'm
I'm
like
really
10
bad at them, and I wouldn't want to play a racing game where there's a ridge involved because I'd probably fall off it.
It's just like you have Forza now, you have Gran Turismo still. Ridge Racer's always been running like second or third at best. Like, why?
What if you raced, like, potato chips? Ridge Racer.
I hate you so much. Ruffles Racer. After reaching out, GameSpot posted this article before reaching out to Bandai Namco, who did respond to them between when this was posted and when we were recording.
Did they confirm the chip thing?
They said they cannot confirm or deny rumors or speculation about Ruffles Racer. Realistically, they said they cannot confirm or deny any speculation. So, fun stuff.
They're like, we don't respond to rumors. That was their...
Yeah, it's
Get
like...
this fucking camera out of my face.
But they won't deny it either. So it's like, if it wasn't happening, I imagine it would have just been an outright denial. Powering ahead through this massive load of Nintendo news, Switch owners can soon start paying for games and anything else on the Nintendo Store with their gold points. Up to this point, there's been like nothing you can buy for Nintendo Switch except, I think, backgrounds or something weird like that. And you have to use platinum points or one of their other forms of currency since there's multiple ones on their Nintendo Store.
Does that fuse with the, like, Nintendo.com
The accounts.
points? Because I have a shitload of points from Animal Crossing, but I don't know if that
pretty
works
sure
out.
They
My Nintendo
transferred over,
points?
but they all... I think there's 3 separate currencies.
Okay.
On, like, whatever they're calling
That's
their,
confusing.
like... Yeah. I don't even know what they call their online service right now when you go on there. I think it's My Nintendo. And I have a bunch of gold, I have a bunch of platinum, and then there's another version that, like, is what you need to buy most of stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have very many of those. But there's a lot of stuff you can get with the gold ones, and everyone's been like, when the hell are you going to update the Nintendo Store online so that we can buy stuff with our points?
Whatchamacallit, the last thing, what did they used to call it before they changed?
Nintendo Club?
Yeah, but Nintendo Club's been dead for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I guess we'll figure it out now that we're popular again.
It's frustrating for me because it's just like, okay, well, you've had this thing running for a long time. Then you did like the My Amiibo or Amiibo, whatever that thing was called, and that was like super popular for a minute.
You mean the app?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Miitomo.
Right now. Miitomo, yeah.
Yeah, and that was super popular for a minute. And whenever you get a new game, you can, if it's as long as it's a cartridge, you can go to redeem My Nintendo points, and it adds points into your Nintendo account
I think
because
it's
of
only
it.
with new ones.
So yeah, it is only with new ones. But it's like if you have the ability on your Switch to just go to the menu and do that, as long as it's not a digital copy or it hasn't been done before,
Yeah.
like you really need to get that infrastructure up and running.
You know, I realize that I can't complain about the timing of it, though, because, like, Microsoft has been talking for 50 million years about making their points usable.
something.
PlayStation started talking, like, 2 or 3 years ago about trophies being usable, so you can't complain, I guess.
Right. I mean, you really could,
Yeah.
but we won't.
Yeah.
And the final...
Maybe we'll just get loot boxes.
That would be great. They should just attach loot boxes to everything.
Why not?
Points for loot boxes.
Make the most sense. The final article I have for Nintendo news... I actually tossed this one in there. Or did you toss this one in
did.
there? Okay, I saw this one and I was like, I don't know if I want to leave that one in there or not.
I didn't really care at first, and then I saw, like, one of the last games, which is an actual popular game, so I was like, oh, okay.
So why don't you go ahead and relate this one? Because I don't know what any of these games are.
Oh, okay. So, Tiny Builds, a company that makes indie games, I suppose, or arcade-style games, announced 6 new ports for the Nintendo Switch, most of which you might not have heard of. Final Station, Cluster Truck. I love that they, like, that's the 5th game I know of that's, like, Cluster something. Like, Cluster Fluck is a game. I don't
Right.
know. Punch Club, Party Hard, Streets of Rogue. But the last one is a very popular game with the children, Hello Neighbor.
I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of Hello Neighbor?
Nope. I don't know.
Hello
a lot of
Neighbor?
children.
Me neither.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Hello Neighbor is like a arcade game. It's a horror game for children. It's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's, but you play as a neighbor, and your neighbor's up to no good, and you're supposed to try and investigate. But as you try to do things, the neighbor learns what you're doing, and you can't try that again.
Oh, I have heard of this.
Yeah, it's like crazy popular. It's on Xbox and PC. So I was like, "Hello, neighbor!" Like that's gonna sell like hotcakes. That's like having Minecraft and Rocket League on Switch. Like
Wow.
it's gonna be that crazy.
Well,
And
that's
they're all
impressive.
gonna be $15, except hell, neighbor's gonna be $40. Never mind. But yeah, pretty cool.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So that's everything for Nintendo news. We can power right along into additional news because there's still a lot of that to go.
Take
and
a
then
deep
we'll
breath.
right, and then we're going to get to our main topic of the week. But leading out with additional news, PUBG has banned over 1 million players. In fact, the number that they announced was 1,044,000 PUBG players were banned from PlayerUnknown's Battleground permanently. And they're going to be moving forward.
Permaban, wow.
There's other programs.
It's like they're gonna have
apparently-
to create a whole new account.
They should just
try
make their
again.
own like cheater-friendly one and all cheat against each other and see how that plays out.
Like PlayStation or Xbox, like where they're like, "You guys are the dregs of society. Go play together."
Are you saying that's what people on Xbox are
No,
like? I'm
no,
confused.
don't they have that system? The what do they call it? The
Reputation system.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
so where you
reputation
get
system.
paired with people that are fucking shitheads like you.
Yeah. If they're shitheads,
Yeah.
then yes. If they're cheaters, they just ban them. So, but it would be really nice if people really want to play
Cheater
it and they
League.
could still pay
It's
them.
like Monopoly Cheater.
Yeah, I really don't want to play that. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we posted that. I don't know if we posted that on Nerd Chills or not.
I don't know.
Yeah, but there's a Monopoly version that's specifically called like Cheater Monopoly, and I'm like, I play by the rules. Like, that's
Rules
why.
are there ain't no rules.
Yeah, I'm not excited to play it. I'm sure at some point I will have to.
It'll be like Munchkin. That game is so frustrating.
Because it's like, hey, you're encouraged to cheat. I'm like, that's
Remember the first
fucking
person
great.
we played Munchkin with who like totally fucked us
Yeah.
because we didn't know anything?
He told us you're encouraged to cheat, and then he showed us that by lying to us about how the rules were until he basically said, I win at the end of every game.
And we were like, dang, he's pretty good. I don't quite understand.
And then what did we do? We started reading the rules and playing without him.
Yep.
So we could have more fun.
Yeah, it
So.
happens.
Cheaters never win. Moving right along, perfect segue to Dr. Disrespect, cheater number 1. He has
Meh.
returned to Twitch. What's that?
Only on his wife, not in games,
That's
okay?
true. He only cheats on the
Yeah.
important things in life. He returned to Twitch this past week and had 388,000 concurrent viewers, breaking records all over the fucking board.
Jeez.
It looks like the record held by a League of Legends streamer, Tyler number 1, still stands at 400,000. He came close at 389,000, which is not bad. And on top of that, people gave him a fuck ton of money for coming back. So I'm sure at no time soon will he be in jeopardy of, like, going broke for cheating on his wife. But if you guys are fans of Dr. Disrespect, congratulations, he is back. So I'm sure his marriage is perfect now, completely fixed. Congrats.
Keep on disrespecting.
CJ, have you ever watched Dr. Disrespect?
I have, and I actually watched his return, and
He was one
And
of
gave
them.
him $5.
just comparing to how he was to what he is now, you can totally tell that there are some changes that he undertook. He used to call on Twitch, everybody who has subscribers, they just name their subscribers some type of club or some name that goes along with
Right.
them. And his club name before was the Slick Daddy Club. And now they call him the Champions Club. So he's kind of pulling away from that, from the other persona and trying to build this new one that's basically just based around the games that he plays.
Saying he's not
And
a,
not necessarily around himself.
he's not a slick daddy anymore.
No,
Not
he's
so
not.
slick, obviously, because he got caught. So,
Got busted.
welcome back, Dr. Disrespect. We're also happy to have you. Awesome. Moving right along into more of the additional news, because we do have a lot of it. I think this is really funny. So, Metal Gear Solid 5 came out and apparently had a secret ending the entire time. This
Wow.
secret ending would only be triggered if all players playing online dismantled their nuclear weapons, or nuclear, if you want to pronounce it correctly. And
If you want to. I mean,
so
you don't
many-
have to.
So many people that have been playing this game that are still dedicated to it have been working towards this goal, and apparently the special ending triggered early, and it just happened, and people were like, "Whoa, we didn't get there," and people were fucking super pissed. So Square came out and they're like, "Oh my god, we're so sorry, we didn't mean for that to happen." And not Square, Konami. And I just think it's so funny that all these people had been working so very hard and it was triggered in the Steam version on February 2nd, and it's on the internet now. You can just go to YouTube and watch it if you want to.
That's funny.
So all those people that were like super invested into it, the only thing I can compare this to is back when World of Warcraft Vanilla was still out, they were adding the Encourage like area, and to open that raid, all players had to gather a fuck ton of resources. So both Horde and Alliance all had to gather like all these different things all over the world and build up all these resources to go to war, basically. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as you had enough, they would pick a time for each server and be like, this is when the gates are going to open. And everyone flooded this zone to see what would happen. And when the fucking doors opened, it was these giant raid bosses that poured out to murder everyone. It was this huge, amazing event. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine if people were still gathering and they're like, all right, guys, 20% left. Someone's like, the gates opened. And everyone's like, we weren't fucking there for it. This is bullshit. So it's sad, but it's kind of funny. Also, I don't know if that was the article you were supposed to read, Charlie. I know we divided some of them up.
It wasn't.
So I think this next one is, though. So you go ahead and take over.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Capcom. Capcom is reportedly laying off staff. They have cut the scope of the next Dead Rising. Dead Rising 5, presumably.
4? I don't know.
5. 4 is the newest one.
4
came out.
Are you sure?
Yeah, there were snow
4
globes
came out?
themed after
Snow
it.
globes?
Yeah, I remember having them. Because it like had some Christmas shit in there. So yeah, I guess for the 5th one, which I think makes sense because I don't know how well that series does typically.
Right.
And then they completely cut out a game that they were working on, which was unannounced. It was just something that they had in the works, and they estimate that they laid off about 50 people.
It's crazy to me that they're doing these layoffs right now when Capcom are the people who put out Monster Hunter World, which seems to be doing very well. But I would guess that looking at the success of one part of their business, they're like, these other parts are going to drag us down if we don't get rid of them? I don't know. It's hard to say, but I'm sure we'll find out eventually what that unannounced game was that they were working on, unless it wasn't like a sequel to anything. If it was an original IP, then
I think it might have been, because it just kind of described it was like a third-person action adventure set in an alternate reality version of New York. So nothing I've ever heard of, really. But I guess they wanted to move these people to work on Dead Rising. And I'm like, Dead Rising? Really?
Right? Is that really your flagship?
Is that your bread and butter?
I don't understand that at all.
But yeah, so that's kind of sad that they had to cut some people. Hopefully that Dead Rising game will be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Every Dead Rising game I've ever played gets boring after 2 hours.
I know, it's so boring.
And I'm like, I guess I could keep playing this and keep building new weapons, and that might be fun, or making my character look wacky, but it's just like, I don't know. It just gets old. Like, I know I'm playing Monster Hunter right now, and it's like about getting gear and changing things, but each part of combat's different, and there's nothing exciting about the combat that I ever have with Dead Rising. So
look, truthfully, I get super annoyed when people are like, it's repetitive. I'm like, find me a game that's not. And you know what? I'm going to go out and create that game that's like different every fucking second, and you're going to hate it.
Oh, it was No Man's Sky.
yeah, there's no repetition in that whatsoever.
Nah, there is.
The entire thing is repetition.
Yes,
you just go to planet to planet to planet, and the planet looks kind of different, and I do the exact same things on every fucking
it's
planet.
pretty terrible, actually. But at least it was. I don't know. They've done like 15 years of updates.
It's supposed to be really good now, but I'm not going to buy it and
Too
check
late.
out.
I already own it if you ever want to borrow it.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. I find me a game that's not repetitive, but Dead Rising is repetitive to me, especially because it's like, I remember when 3 came out and their biggest selling feature was like, look how many zombies we can put on the screen. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, because they're boring as fuck to kill.
You just kill them and you build weapons and they degrade, and I don't know. There's a lot I can't get behind.
Yeah, I'm not too excited. I think it's crazy that that's the game that they decided to keep on with. So,
yeah.
Bummer.
Anyways. Anywho.
I think you got the next one as well.
Oh, do I really?
The 10 Crowns one?
Yep, I do. So, 10 Crowns is a game coming out. It's a turn-based strategy game that's being created by Soren Johnson, who I've never known by name, but I definitely know a lot of his games. He's worked on Civilization 3, Civilization 4, a lot of Firaxis games, and it's supposed to be a epic scale turn-based strategy game where you create the greatest dynasty in world history, which I think is super fucking cool because I love Civ.
Right.
And I love that style, and they really like Civilization obviously still carries on, still a great game, but I would love to see some more strategy games out there and more on console because there's really not very many. Like other than
Halo Wars.
Tropico, XCOM, those are really it.
Yeah, there's not a lot after that.
Yeah, City Skylines is out there, but that's not really the same thing. It's something that's just better done on computer. That every time I play,
I guess there's Sid Meier's. Is it Revelation?
I don't know if they still
Revolution.
release those, but I remember those being on 360 back in the day.
Yeah, they don't do it on console anymore. The last one was on PC and PC only. But yeah, he says that he's going back to the classic roots of game development, and it's going to be a historical 4-time strategy game with some important and radical innovations to the genre. So
Here's hoping it goes well.
yeah, I mean,
Changes to the genre don't always go over very well.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think strategy could use that if anybody could.
What I think is really funny is back in the day when Warcraft 3 came out, they tried to do the same thing with the heroes within the game. So you had smaller armies, so instead of 200 cap like they had in all the previous stuff, they had, I think 90 was the cap. Mm-hmm. And then you also had your hero. You could have multiple heroes, stuff like that. And from the heroes came Dota. From Dota came League of Legends. From League of Legends came the entire hero shooter genre like Overwatch. And it's like something that didn't do well when it launched and was a disappointment in general spawned all these other things. So I think when people go in new and exciting directions, it's always a good thing, even if it doesn't get like received properly at the time. It's going to lead other people down different creative paths. So I'm excited to see what they got for us.
I have a special place in my heart for strategy games. I think that it takes like a certain person, and I think that in this day and age, I get frustrated by the fact that like everyone and anyone plays games, and it's like every person you know is like, yeah, I'm a gamer, like I play Call of Duty and sometimes FIFA, I don't know, whatever. And strategy games, I think, are like true
Gamer status.
yes,
Yeah.
and you have to have a brain and you have to take the time, and I don't know, I love that about strategy games.
Right. Strategy games feel like chess, and other things feel like checkers in many, many ways. So I totally agree. Not a solid transition between that article and this one, except that they both
work on it.
involve video games. Kind
That's
of.
true.
But sad news from former GameStop CEO Paul Raines, and I do say former because he is resigning, and I do say sad news not just because he is resigning, but it is effective immediately, and they did announce that it is, quote, in order to focus on his health and his family. Previously, he had cancer, and they have stated that it is a reoccurrence of his previously disclosed medical issue. So without getting into too many specifics, it's basically like, hey, like, he's done now. Like, he's done as of now. He's sick again, so he's going to take time off. And like right on the back of that, like the next article I saw is regarding the new person that came in, and immediately upon arrival, he has fired longtime executive and chief operating officer Tony Bartel, which is crazy to me because those are the two names that I associate with GameStop, was Paul Raines and Tony Bartel. And now Paul Raines is resigning, Tony Bartel is gone, and also Michael Hogan, who is the executive vice president of strategic business and brand development, has also been fired from GameStop. So big shakeup going on over there. We'll see what winds up happening. But we wish Paul Raines the best, because anytime you have to step away from your job to focus on health concerns it sucks, plain and simple. So I'm hoping these changes that are going on in this corporate restructuring go well, and hopefully it works out for the people on the front line. So it might not affect them whatsoever, and it might have an impact, but if it does, I'm hoping it's a good one. So fun stuff. Who was going to take the Red Dead 2 article? Is that me? Cool.
You were like, two back to back, I'll take them all.
That's right. So I do have 2 articles back to back for Red Dead 2. So there has been some leaks. Shocker, nothing stays secret anymore. And it has revealed single player details, which I'm not going to get into because I don't want to do spoiler cast, but there has been revealed that there will be a Battle Royale mode in multiplayer because everything is going that way.
Lovely. We don't have enough of those.
I will say I really like Red Dead, and I think if you can like develop your weapons, it would be a really fun Battle Royale mode to have. I wonder if it'll get repetitious and boring.
I mean, I think we'll do a good job of it. Look at what we have now. I think that the only concern I have about Red Dead in general, like its popularity, is that I think Grand Theft Auto appeals to so many more people, whereas like Westerns probably play to more like certain types of people. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there are some demographics that are not going to be into westerns.
Yeah, I think when it comes to GTA, like, it is its own beast. Like, it's like a cultural fucking movement, and it's crazy that it is, because it's like has so much horrific content for parents to evaluate and give to their kids, and I think at some point parents are like, you can't play that, but I'm gonna fucking play that, and then everyone just sort of grows into being able to play it.
Yeah.
So with Red Dead, it is more of a focused genre, like a niche, but at the same time, it's probably the most popular niche game of all time.
Yeah.
Or niche, or however the fuck you say that word.
Niche.
So sticking with that, Take-Two has come out after the delay and said that Red Dead Redemption 2 will not be delayed again. And for them to make that announcement is pretty fucking ballsy. It makes me think that they almost made this date. And they're like, let's push it out an extra...
They already have it. Why don't they give it to us?
Right, motherfuckers? They push it out an extra 7 months, put as much polish on it as possible so it like meets the Rockstar expectation. And on top of that, anyone who is thinking about releasing in late October, early November is now pulling their fucking hair out. And like, it's either Battlefront or Battlefield that comes out from that side, and then Call of Duty every year comes out right around then.
Yeah, I'm
and now
really
it's like
concerned.
Red Dead's dropping at the same time, and I honestly think if Red Dead drops right then, and those three are in a race to see which one wins Game of the Year, it's always Call of Duty that wins, and I really think Red Dead will win. I think it'll be a really close race with Call of Duty, and since I have no idea what's going on with Battlefront or Battlefield this year, and I know Red Dead's coming out, and I know Call of Duty's coming out, it's like, which one do I know the most about? Red Dead 2. And now, you know, the hype train's pushed back a little bit further, but I think it's going to work out for them.
I think it's going to be nuts.
It is definitely going to be fucking nuts. So, awesome. We have several more articles to get through, people. Just hang in there with us, and we're going to get you through all this news. Charlie, what else do we got?
So the other article that I have is Bethesda has confirmed, all you Skyrim people out there who are just itching for another Elder Scrolls, get it on Switch or something, keep playing it, because they have said, Bethesda says that they have two other major games that they have to release before Elder Scrolls 6. So it's a pretty common thing that we talk about how Skyrim is just getting re-released. That's just going to stay like that.
It's not going to stop happening until people stop buying it.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, they're going to do two other huge games before they even work on that.
But what do they do? That's what I don't understand.
What I thought was really funny about this article is that at the bottom of it, they addressed at some point during talking about this that the common misconception people have is between Bethesda Game Studios and Bethesda Softworks.
Yeah.
And Bethesda Game Studios handles Elder Scrolls and Fallout, while Bethesda Softworks handles Wolfenstein and Prey.
I feel like they need to switch that, like Prey and Fallout and Elder Scrolls. Like Elder Scrolls and Fallout, I don't think should be on the same boat.
Because they're so gigantic and open world, but I think it's because those teams are so good at doing those things.
Yeah,
but I think it's funny because people bitch so much to Bethesda Softworks online, like, oh my god, when are you going to release Skyrim? And like, it's got to be so hard for them to be like, fucking never, that's when. Like, we don't do that. Like, talk to Bethesda Game Studios and leave us be.
It's like when people tweeted Ellen Page, like, I loved you in Last of Us.
Right, exactly. So you sure did. That's why I sued. Cool.
But yeah, so the next article that we have, continuing with our theme of not having good transitions, there's another Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer that's been released. So they're still plugging away at it. They're saying they're going to announce an official date at E3. So that's bonkers.
Yeah, the fact that they're announcing the release of a date.
A date for a
people are
game they've been talking about
super
for a
hyped
decade.
about.
Are you sure you don't want to wait another 10 years?
Maybe they're going to just announce that it's
That
like
would be great.
2028.
2025. But they did release a new trailer that shows that they're going more into the Pixar universe. Showed characters from the Monsters, Inc. world.
Yep. And
Yeah.
they...
Monsters Inc. and Toy Story.
Yeah, and then there are other Disney characters shown, such as Rapunzel from Tangled, Little Mermaid's Ariel. So that's kind of crazy, but I think they're definitely going to delve deep into Pixar. Like, it's been long enough. I think the biggest thing will just be whether they even go into territory of like Star Wars and Marvel.
Right, I think they should leave those be for the time being, especially since they've been building this universe for so long that those things definitely... They didn't have those assets created at the start of this project or the middle of this project, so don't delay it more to try
Well, they
and
also
include
showed Frozen, didn't they?
I don't know.
I haven't watched the trailer, to be honest with you.
I thought it was early in the morning when I saw this email, and I was like, I gotta watch this. and I was like kind of still half asleep, but I could have sworn. I'll have to go rewatch it.
The biggest thing that I took away from it is like, obviously it's been a really long time since they released a Kingdom Hearts, and the first thing I thought when I saw the whole Monsters Inc. thing was it finally dawned on me that this game is going to appeal to a new generation of people, like kids that grew up with those movies.
It's true.
Like kids that were really into Frozen 3 years ago that are now like 10 to 15 years old. Like that's crazy to me that people are going to be playing this game, and it's like going to be the generation of like you, me, Robin, and CJ who played it a decade ago, and kids that are just like, oh man, Disney, like I love anything Disney.
I'll get that, and then it turns out to be an amazing video game on top of everything else.
That's what I think is going to be super crazy.
It's like an entry-level drug for people to start getting into gaming, even though gaming is fairly mainstream right now.
Yeah,
so. Cool. Is. Powering straight ahead, we have an announcement here from ESPN, in fact, because I just love the fact that they're reporting on the Overwatch League. It looks like Guguri, I believe is the name of the player, is set to join the Shanghai Dragons and become Overwatch League's first female player. So I think that's pretty awesome. People were kind of surprised when they announced the rosters of all 12 teams? I think it's 12 teams. And there wasn't any female gamers on it.
Well, it's like, get good.
They got good, apparently, and now one of them is going to be a professional gamer. And I think that's pretty fucking cool. And on top of that, in the women power section of the show, Scarlett, who plays StarCraft 2, she's a pro. She made her way in, I think, during IPL 4. I think it was the same IPL I attended out of the Cosmopolitan through the open bracket.
We attended.
Siege and I didn't attend together, but we were both there. But they had an open bracket for people who were amateurs to play, and if they did well, they could get into the actual event.
That's crazy.
Scarlett won that, and that's how she became a pro gamer. And she won her first championship series. I don't know what level championship it was, but I definitely saw her holding a trophy and basically saying like, "Oh look, I just destroyed all the boys. That accidentally happened. Whoopsie." So super cool to have both of those things happen in the same week.
I just picture like those memes where it's like when you really just wanted to Netflix and chill, and it's like the cat that's like batting away the eggplant or whatever, the cucumber.
That's so funny.
That's all I picture. Good luck, girl.
So you dropped in this random Call of Duty article.
Yeah, speaking of Call of Duty, because we were just talking about the fall lineup of games, they have some serious reports going around that the Call of Duty franchise, of course, will return this fall, and that it will be Black Ops 4. And the craziest part of it is that they have said that it's going to be on Switch, as well as PC, Xbox One, and PS4. So that'll be nuts.
Yeah, it will be.
They're really going to have to get their shit together for their online service.
I wonder if it'll be like when they used to release Call of Duty for the Wii, where it's like it'll be on there, but it'll also be like a completely different
down.
game.
Like we'll call it Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Revelations, and yeah,
I think if Bethesda has done anything for the Switch, is that they've proved that you can put a full-blown like AAA title that's coming out on the other consoles onto Nintendo Switch by putting Doom and Wolfenstein on there.
You know, I have a bigger question, because this is kind of the trend. Will it release at the same time?
That is a really good question.
As all these other ones?
And will it be the same price?
Yeah.
I imagine it'll probably be the same price. I don't think it'll be the same time.
Yeah, I think it'll be later, because even Wolfenstein hasn't come out yet for Switch. It's still on the docket. And I will say games that, I don't know, in my experience, I haven't seen a lot of those games like Doom and stuff like that play necessarily well on the Switch, and not necessarily sold a lot of them on the Switch. So we'll see how that goes. But they also did announce that, or they didn't really announce, but they're hinting at the fact that they're going to try and get away from the futuristic style of gameplay, because people clearly don't want that.
Right.
They had a lot of success with World War II, so they're going to try and dial back the futuristic sci-fi portion of the game that they had introduced in the Black Ops series before.
It's interesting to see them going back to the Black Ops well without rebooting it, because I thought for sure if they were to go in there, they'd just start over with a new cast of characters, new storyline, make it present day, or maybe even a little bit further in the past. I really thought everyone would move towards Vietnam for this next era, and who knows, like that might wind up happening for Battlefield, and we'll see where we get there. But I don't know. I thought Black Ops 3 was for sure going to be like this super amazing giant hit, and it definitely did not do as good as Black Ops 2 did. That doesn't mean it didn't sell a fucking ton of copies, but I wonder if it's going to do as much as they think it is. I think they feel like Black Ops is the franchise that is like untouchable, so we'll see if that's the case.
I think my other question is, are they going to do what they did with Infinite Warfare, or are they going to pair it with another Call of Duty remaster? Which isn't, I don't think it's the same game company that did Infinite Warfare, but are they going to pair it with like World at War maybe and kind of reboot it in a way? Like let people go back to the origin of zombie mode with World at War? Or are they going to have any plans to bring something old back again?
Right.
Because they still have not made... World at War is backwards compatible, but they still haven't made Modern Warfare 2 backwards compatible. So, I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Indeed. Cool. So, one last article to get to before we get to the main topic. This one was almost our main topic. So, Blizzard announced that they officially banned an Overwatch griefer who's ruined, quote, thousands of games for players.
Holy shit.
The popular streamer Tim the Tatman was streaming, and he said during his stream he doesn't even want to play Overwatch anymore because he literally gets stream sniped every day. Stream sniped is when someone who is watching your stream goes on there and purposely tries to fuck with your experience to make things worse. And they found after he said that and filed, because you can report people through the game itself, the player that had been doing it to him had been doing it through multiple accounts and had done it to thousands of players. And when he was entering the games, he wasn't even playing the game. He was purposely picking a character, which was not helpful to anyone. It can be, but he would not play that way. They reviewed, like, you can actually see through whatever, like, analytics they have, like, how you play the game. And he was literally just playing the game to troll people and fuck up the experience and make their team lose, to mess with people, and they permanently banned all of his accounts.
Wow. And
they said, like, to be clear, we're not banning this person over his character choice, but over the way that he purposely... Let me read them. Sorry, I lost the quote. The copious reports, all of which have been previously suspended in extended periods of time. He was one of the worst offenders we have come across. To be clear, this player is not being banned, not for their hero choice, but rather for systematically ruining Overwatch games for thousands of players. We've already taken steps to quickly eliminate outliers like this in the future.
Wow.
I just thought it was hilarious that one person bought this game and dedicated so much time to not playing it and just ruining the experience for other people.
You know, you posed a question in in our chat about it, and I have never trolled anybody, but in working in games, I have met some people who have admitted to being like just trolls. Like I had one gentleman who was talking to me about, I think it was World of Tanks, and he was asking me, he came in asking if I knew of what games specifically you could, where they enabled friendly fire. Because that was his goal. And he was not a kid. It was not a young person. He was older than me. And he just talked about how he only wanted to play games that were friendly fire. And his main goal was to just fuck everyone's life up and to piss people off and get a rise out of them, I guess. I don't really know. But yeah, I have met those people.
What a douche.
And he was just laughing, and I was just staring at him like, you're a fucking monster. What
Right.
is wrong with you?
Why would you do that? I don't understand where the fun of that is. And people do that in Rainbow Six Siege as well. They get banned really quick when you have too much friendly fire in Rainbow Six Siege.
I think that most of the people I know that have used friendly fire in Rainbow Six, it's like you have someone new on your team and they fuck up real bad, or they shoot at you, and that's like, well, you're dead now. I don't care if I get banned for a minute. You're dead.
What's really funny is I know there's this phrase that I love to use. There's two sides to this coin because I've been on both sides. So when I was younger, this game called Phantasy Star Online was on the Dreamcast, and I probably put 200 or 300 hours into that game. It's similar to probably Diablo or even Monster Hunter World, where in this game, though, you did have levels. 100 was the level cap. You could only have 4 people per game, but you had a lobby in space where you could hang out with a bunch of other people and talk to each other, and then you got to party up and go down and actually play the game and go through the storyline. And after you finish the storyline, you could just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And so people got addicted to it. So me and my friends used to play. And I was level capped. I had the best gear. I maxed everything out. I had so much fucking money. And there's not a way to friendly fire in that game. But if you die, you drop 2 things. You drop exactly half of your money and the weapon you were carrying when you died as an incentive to run back to your body.
Right.
And anyone can pick that up.
Uh-oh.
So when we were playing the game, I was playing with 3 strangers, and someone died, and they dropped it, and they had an okay gun, and they had a lot of money, but it's nothing I needed, or it wasn't more than anything I had. Mm-hmm. And I just picked it up. I ran over there. I took his weapon. I took his gun. And he's like, he just fucking stole my shit. And I just spent the next hour in the hub world, which I went back to, telling people, like, I didn't take his shit. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. And there was someone there who watched me do it, and somehow through, like, lying my ass off, I convinced the other 2 people in the game I died, he took my money, and he took my gun, and then all 3 people were like, how dare you do that? Like, you're such a
Wow.
piece of shit. And he was messaging him, and he goes, I want you to know, he's laughing at you right now. He's laughing. And my friends are watching me play, and I was cackling madly at how fucking funny this was to me. And I had this, like, realization, like, this is going to happen to me at some point, and I totally fucking earned it. I stopped playing that game. It never happened to me. And then when I started playing World of Warcraft, I got to endgame, and I ran one of these raids that takes, like, 3 hours to go through, probably close to 200 times to see if one fucking thing would drop. And on the last time I ran it, it dropped. Someone ran up, took it, and left.
Wow.
And everyone was like, did he just fucking ninja that? And I'm like, it's my fault. I brought this upon us all. Years ago, I brought this upon us all. So, yeah, there's 2 sides to that coin. So,
Do you
just
remember-
something to think about.
Do you remember that story? It was back when they did game. Well, I mean, they still do it, but like Game Share on PlayStation. It was like a story of like some young kid was talking to someone they met online, and the guy was like, "Yeah, if you game share with me, I can take your care. I can dupe a weapon for you or something. Like I can get you this really cool thing." And you like, it's the thing where you like digitally or virtually hand your controller off to someone else. And so he did that and had to watch the guy delete his character and all his shit.
God. I don't remember that.
Ooh.
but
Yeah,
that is
I remember
fucking
that
hilarious.
story. It was like, don't fucking game share with strangers.
That's so
dummy.
funny.
Yeah, that's your own fault.
That's beyond fucking hilarious. So yeah, it's really funny at one point, and then it gets really, really frustrating when it happens to you.
Yeah.
So cool. That was the article. That was almost our main topic, and then we're going to get to our article. It is our main topic. That might not be that long. So moving on into our main topic, it appears. Oh, look at that! The article disappeared. That's perfect. But it does appear that Google is interested in getting into the gaming market, and indeed, they're so interested. It appears they are making hardware in order to do that.
I mean, they make phones now.
They do. They bought HTC
Yeah.
because they liked how they were making the Pixels. That is now a Google company, and they're calling it Google's, quote, Yeti. It is reportedly a gaming hardware and streaming service beast. This was reported first by Ars Technica. I don't know if it's first, but I saw it first on Ars Technica. It sounds like they're going to use services like PlayStation Now or Xbox Live Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, to distribute their games, but that they're interested in getting into the gaming market. I think it's funny because it's like when Microsoft got in, they're like, we have more money than God, we might as well. And they started asking, like, what do people want to see out of their gaming consoles and things like that. And like when you're reading through this article, it's like game streaming seems to be the focus of this. Like it's going to be a hardware console that you would buy and bring home, but it's not going to have an actual disc. It's all going to be revolving around streaming through the internet. And I go back to the same thing every time. How am I going to do that with net neutrality dead? If I have a limit, if I have a limit to how much I can download, or I have to pay through the fucking nose to get unlimited whatever, like I'm going to need to be able to download that and save it to my hard drive, or else I'm
Yeah.
not going to buy it.
I was gonna say, I mean, we have the same thing with PlayStation Now. That's the big drawback of PlayStation Now is that it streams instead of downloading, and a lot of people don't like that, and a lot of people have issues with it. So I just don't see, unless Google can pull through with this fiber shit everywhere on the planet,
Right.
that would be the only way. Besides the fact that, like, I'm still just not sure. Granted, like I said, I'm biased, but I'm just not sure I can invest money. Like, if I have the option to buy Madden or something pretty mainstream on a console where I can have a physical copy that I can do something with later, why would I buy it digitally? Like, it'd have to be cheaper.
Right. See,
yeah.
I totally understand that, and I want like hard copies. I also want digital copies. I wish I didn't have to swap my disc out. That's the only thing. But at the same time, it's like that doesn't really matter. That's like a very minute thing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's worth it when you trade your game in for $30 or...
yeah, and when people shit on the idea of that, it's like everyone shits on that and then goes and does it. It's like your game is instantly worth about half of what you paid for it because it's officially used. And if you were to go to Craigslist and try and sell it, no one's going to buy a $60 game for $50.
And you don't own it. Like, you don't own it when you buy it digitally. You're just paying to rent the license.
Right.
Like, so you own nothing. You're
You always have
throwing
to
your
have
money
that
away.
account that has that license registered to it. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
I don't know. That's the only thing about digital that blows my mind. I'll say it endlessly, but like I had someone just not that long ago get rid of $200 worth of stuff and got like all Blizzard and Steam credit, and I'm like, So when you decide to quit playing Overwatch, it's done.
Yeah.
There goes your
That money is
$200.
gone.
It's like, it drives me nuts. I don't know.
What I think is really interesting about this is it's been in development for 2 years.
The console?
The console.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's been in development for 2
They're
years
pretty
over
good
at Google.
at secreting over there.
Yeah, Yeti is a
Wow.
code name.
They're
So
secreters.
it's not. It's like how Switch was the NX for the longest time. And this is cool too. I didn't even realize this has happened, but Google just hired Phil Harrison, who spent 15 years as an executive in Sony's PlayStation division and 3 years in Microsoft's Xbox division.
Oh, shit.
So
They're
if you're
serious.
thinking that this is just like maybe
Bullshit.
they're doing it. Oh no, they're
No,
fucking
they're
doing
doing
it.
it.
Yeah. So we're just not sure exactly what the console's going to look
That's
like.
crazy.
But I wanted to pose the question, and I pose this to our listeners as well. If you guys are listening, tweet us at nerd_chills. If you were developing a console, or if Google reached out to you and said, hey, we're making a gaming console, what would it have to have? Like, what's a must for you? Like, what is something that you guys would want? And I'll start with Charlie, and then I'll go to me, and then I'll go to CJ. I think that's the order I want to go through, because it's alphabetical.
No,
It's
I was
not,
gonna say
but
it's
let's just
not.
do it that way. So, Charlie, ladies first. There we go. Ladies first, Charlie.
I don't know, because they're not going to do what I want, which is like some kind of physical media.
It's not what Google wants. It's what you want. So what would you want?
Okay.
What would you like demand if you were getting a console and you're like, if I'm going to buy this instead of PlayStation 4, if you're going to pull me away from the console I'm on right now, system has to have this. What are your musts? What are your, like, this is non-negotiable?
I would say like a good backwards compatible library, and I wouldn't know how they would do that because it's a new console that has no backwards compatible library, but I think that's what we don't have. Even if it's just the option to buy shit, like Xbox is the only place that they've really done that, and they haven't even fully done that. So I would want to be able to play my old shit.
You saying that kind of touched on something I thought about writing down and didn't, but I think it's less crazy now that I hear you say that. I think if Google's making a console, I want to be able to download whatever the fuck I want from the App Store, from the Android App Store, and play it through my console on a TV. Because I play a fuck ton on my phone, and if I could come home and be like, looking for a quick fix on my actual console, maybe I could play like Clash Royale or something stupid like that.
Like, do you think could you imagine playing Clash Royale with a controller?
I can't, but at the same time, like, they could probably figure out a way to make it work, and I don't think that's...
Oh my god, just put a touchpad in the
Right,
middle of
I don't
the
think that's
controller.
up to Google.
Like PlayStation.
I think that's up to the app developer to like make it compatible with that stuff. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to release an app in the Android market, you could say it's like also playable on the Google Superbox, the Google Game Sphere. So I think that'd be super cool.
I think they have to call it the Google Box.
The Google Box. I like it. I'm actually going to jump over to CJ. CJ, like, if you had a chance to tell them, like, this is something you absolutely have to have, what would you add into a console?
My biggest thing would be make it a decent console. It doesn't have to be the power of the Xbox One X or power of a PC. It could be just like a PS4 and Xbox One. But use the money you save from not making a super souped up console to somehow pay the game developers to just let you have every game. Like, you don't have to worry about, like, this game's coming to Google first. Like, no, just every game's coming to Google no matter what. That would be my biggest thing, is just give me something I can play everything on.
They have the money to do it, but I don't know if logistically the developers would want to do it. I mean, I think what they could probably pull off is going to every first-party studio and being like, release on ours as well. We'll give you $1 billion. But that would be fucking crazy if they could do that.
I think even though I don't think it's possible, like access to the Steam library.
That would be fucking incredible.
Yeah,
If
that would
somehow
be huge.
Google like crossed over with Steam.
A console that could play PC games.
Because most PC games release and already have control schemes for peripherals. I mean, they'd map straight to an Xbox controller when you plug it in.
Yeah.
So, God, can you imagine that? So I wrote down two in particular. And one of them makes total sense, and one of them is absolutely stupid. So I wanted to have at least a 2 terabyte hard drive. It has to be out the door with 2 terabytes, because if I'm going to be downloading all my games to it...
SSD.
Oh my God, if it was SSD, I'd shit my pants. But like, I don't have the high hopes that I can get a reasonable price tag on a game console with a 2 terabyte SSD, because that alone is so much money. But I don't want a 500 gigabyte system for games that are 50 to 70 gigabytes minimum, especially if it has a 4K option. It's probably going to be like 100 to 150 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Like, stop giving me storage space for last generation on a new generation console. I think that's stupid. And I want it to be able to have 8 controllers to be able to connect to it, because I think it'd be really fun to push developers to be like, we want 8 people on screen at once so people can lose their fucking minds. Because right now everything's just capped at 4, and I think that's fine. and we've been that way for a long time, but I think pushing it to the next level might have some fun forms of co-op. I think something like Overcooked could be done where you have 4 teams of 2. I think you could probably do that really easily all on the same screen. Everyone has their own little section. And I would really like to see that.
My biggest thing is they don't really make games that like enable that anymore. I mean, they barely make games that go up to 4 players, so it's like I don't see that they'd have a market for it, you know?
I think the market's there. I think they just don't make them. I think that's why things like Overcooked came out, and it's really simple, but it's like same couch co-op. Or Diablo was actually successful on consoles because, like, hey, this isn't as good as it is on PC, but you're gonna are all gonna be on the same couch.
I wonder if Google, like,
Yeah.
I know this is more so our dream console, but like, what do you think Google has access to that would give them a leg up instantly? Like for me, I mean, Microsoft has probably a similar setup, but maybe the amount of servers that they have available would give them the ability to
stability.
have like a super stable and probably less expensive because it's already developed server base for the online service.
What I think, if this is Google we're talking about, that they might actually be able to offer, and you kind of already hit on it, like your online service and your internet service in one.
That would be cool.
It's like, hey, if you sign up for Google, whatever it's called, like Google Vegas doesn't have it. Like if you guys sign up for that, you automatically get free access to all the top tier levels of online whatever. And if you have a different internet service provider, here's your normal $60 a year sign up additional
That'd be
fees.
really cool.
And I think if they definitely have the infrastructure,
They could bundle in their Google Fiber with the system.
that would be fucking incredible. That would be amazing to do. And they would literally pull so many people away from their current internet service providers.
Oh my god, it'd be horrible.
People would be like, oh yeah, I have
Max-
Google Fiber. And they'd be like, oh, do you play
Mass
on
exodus.
the Google box? Like, oh no, I don't have a Google box. I'm not playing video games. It's just like, it's internet. It's better internet. It's like, to package that in, it's like that takes away one step people have to go through to play online anyways. I think that's the most important thing for me too, is like, if you're going to have a Google box, it needs to be multiplayer heavy machine, because I think that is the underestimated market. I think that's why you see like stuff like Rainbow Six Siege and all these games as service models. It's like, these games aren't games that are single player experiences that just end. Those are fine. Those will always have a place. But I think if you're going to actually focus on that shit, you should have, like, instead of stuff like Rainbow Six Siege or For Honor or Friday the 13th, which still do peer-to-peer, you should be able to offer anyone who develops on your console the ability to have, like, dedicated servers for their fucking game. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you're going to let them come out and you're going to have them be on your console, be like, hey, we have servers set. That's fucking good to go. Mm-hmm. We have servers for days. Like, use our servers. They can even take money out of the proceeds or however they want to work out a deal with that developer. It's like, you can have peer-to-peer for all the other fucking consoles, but if people want stability, they play on the Google box. Like, that would be fucking amazing to see.
My other question is, how much would you guys pay for the Google box?
I want to pay $400. I don't want to pay above $400 for a console
Really?
anymore. I just paid $500 for a
I feel
Scorpio.
like it's going to be outrageously expensive.
I think if it's out...
It's gotta.
Go ahead.
It's gotta be. I don't see it. If it's gonna be something that can stream really well, because like I know my PS4 or my Xbox, I think my Xbox One X, I haven't tried it, but I know it can stream 1080p. It still requires a lot of bandwidth and a lot of processor power. So if you want to have something that can just stream fluently, which is what this article kind of provides, like minimal lag, that kind of stuff, then it's got to be pricey, because like my PC is a $2,000 PC and it streams perfectly fine.
I think they have to be careful going into the console market that they don't price themselves out of the market. And I think that's the mistake PlayStation 3 made. I think that's the mistake that Xbox One made. I don't think anyone would have given a shit about the messaging with Xbox One if they're like, you're going to make me pay an extra $100 for a Kinect and I don't have the option to not buy it. Like, that just started them out on the wrong foot. I think that's why PlayStation 4 Pros are selling better than Xbox One Scorpios, because Scorpios are literally over twice the price of the alternative from the same company. And I think if you're looking to get into the market, $500 is a death knell. I think if you go over $399.99, you're basically telling people, like, you should buy the other console. Yeah. And I think the only way you get around that is to price it at $400, and then whatever you need to get to make that thing run the way it needs to, like Google Fiber or whatever else they can figure out. It's like, have that be other stuff that you can add on to it the same way you add on to an Xbox or a PlayStation already. But I think if you have a system you're trying to bring to market, if you have all these ambitious ideas, if you can't do that under a price point of $400, you shouldn't even fucking bother. It's like, because on top of all that shit, what I can tell you is that I just lost my ass in the stock market this past week because it's crashing like it's the fun thing to do, and it fucking sucks because when you look at stuff like that, you're like, oh yeah, the economy's booming, except for my savings. Interest rates are going through the fucking roof again, so I might not buy that, car or house. It just feels like another recession coming towards me right now, and I'm not sitting around thinking like, yeah I'd pay $600 for a really fun Google console. I'm like sitting around like, where can I move my money so it doesn't fucking evaporate? So I think if you're developing a console that might hit in like the cyclical way recessions come and go, like I think you have to be very mindful of the fact that having a price point where you tell people, get a fucking second job, that's never going to work. And unless like something dramatically changes where everyone just starts making more money, and not like, piddly bullshit.
Are you kidding me? Wages are higher than ever.
Like $1.50 a paycheck? Like, fuck, there you go. There's your Google box right there. It's not going to happen. So I think they have to be ambitious but careful. And all the things.
The other thing with me would probably be VR.
I mean,
like I would want them to have a strong VR.
It needs to be
if they
Vive and
bought
Oculus
HTC,
compatible. Yeah, that's true.
That would be the insinuation.
Yeah, they should be able to hook up a Vive directly to it. And that can be, Vive can run its own company, but you should be able to hook up a Vive to it.
I guess I'll wait to buy my Google Home just in case they incorporate that, and then I can just be like, Google Box.
Google Home VR. I had someone at work the other day tell me, like, I don't get an Amazon or an Alexa or a Google Home because I was at someone's house and it said, like, we're looking up your question right now. I was like, what's wrong with that? They're like, we were silent. They think they have a ghost now. And I was like, that would be kind of fucking creepy if they're like looking up your question of how do I murder these people and get away with it.
What you should really be more worried about is the whole like police subpoenaing Google for your Google Home records because it's always listening and you murdered somebody in your house.
I know, man. That's why I don't get one because I want to murder so many people in my own home.
That happened though, where like there was like a murder case where they were subpoenaing, they were sending documents to Google because they wanted to subpoena this guy's Google Home record.
That's interesting to know. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a dog that doesn't have any loyalty. And it's just going to rat you the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's creepy. So, good stuff. It'll be really easy to do like the whole Connect thing where everything's voice activated if
I
you
know.
pair your Google Home to a Google Box. But there's endless possibilities there. All I'm saying is like, make it priced correctly. I don't think anyone would complain if it was $400. Everyone's like, brand new console, $400 is kind of the standard right now. But if you are going to release something and it's going to do a lot, you have to make sure you can sell it. I don't even give a shit if you sell it at a profit. That's up to Google whether or not they want to do it if they're going to get into the market. Market share is more important than profit in your first few years. Microsoft proved that with Xbox 360. I mean, if they wouldn't have had the success they had with 360, I don't think the One would still be around.
Yeah.
So it's like, if they want to get into it, they're going to have to do it right. So don't price yourself out of it. Have enough stuff that's different from the other consoles that people will want to buy it. And if you guys need help, call me or Charlie or CJ, and we'd be more than happy to come on board and be like, executive level VP, whatever. Like, we're here for that. So,
Yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah.
we know what
We
the
do.
people want.
Speaking of the people, anyone who's listening, we have a Discord. Come talk to us in there. It's like Dave and Wade all the time. So let us know what you think you'd like to see in a gaming console. If you're going to just jump in there and be like, it's a fucking stupid idea, you might as well just stop because we're not going to engage. But I do think it's interesting because this is happening, so I want to hear what people have to say about it. You can tweet at us at nerd_chills. You can email us at nerdchills@nerdchills.net. I think. Yep. And you can email me at malum@nerdchills.net. You can tweet at me at @theadamdiaz. You can check us out on Patreon if you want to help us out a little bit. We'd really appreciate that. And I think that's all the plugs for the show and for myself. So, CJ, if the fine folks wanted to find you, where could they do so?
Everything, Twitch, Twitter, my email is all Sacred Infinity. The email is sacredinfinity@nerdchills.net. Yeah, that's where you can find me at.
Awesome. And Charlie, where can they find you?
You can find me right here, and you can find me on Twitter. It's Charlie with an EY _NC is in Nerdchills, and you can also email me, charlie@nerdchills.net.
Awesome. And if you guys want to find Robin, she's the Robin Grace on pretty much everything. You can also find her Etsy shop. It's Robin's Kawaii Corner, 3 separate words. It's on Etsy. You can search it. If not, you can check out the website. I believe we have a link to it there. Or you can check out her Twitter profile at the Robin Grace, and I believe she has links to it there as well.
You can also check out
Woo!
Robin and Adam on their other podcast about spooky stuff called Scaryish.
It's fun. It's like ghost stories and folklore and stuff like that. We don't take it too seriously. It's a fun time. So yeah, come and check us out there. And we will almost certainly be streaming at some point in the next week, as many of us as we can get online at one time playing Monster Hunter. So if you want to check us out, it's Nerd Chills, I think.
Nerd Chills Gaming.
Yeah, so Twitch
Nerd Chills
TV
Gaming.
/ Nerd Chills Gaming. And if not, either way, on any of the social medias that we have, we will let you guys know where we will be streaming, even if we all decide to do it individually. So thank you for sticking around for an extra long episode. Take a chill pill, people. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.